It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is news that you can use from CarEdge for Wednesday, July 3rd, with your host, neither one of us wearing a collared shirt today, me, Ray, and, well, the kid in the white shirt, Zach. How are you today, handsome?
Doing well. Sound check. Is it still coming through okay?
Yeah. Can I say one thing?
Go for
The
it.
other day, there was a comment that said, well, if you think Zach is handsome, you need to get new glasses. Well, got new glasses, and damn it, he's still handsome.
Kind of offended. We'll get the background going again tomorrow, gang. Until then, CarEdge.com. Your personal car shopper is here. No hassle, always fair prices. Check out CarEdge.com. It's the company my dad and I started 4.5 years ago now. Wow, time flies. We have the car search. We have our car buying service, our car buying toolkit. You can sell a vehicle online through CarEdge.com. And warranty and protection. We continue to have $150 off on the warranty and protection items that come from CarEdge. The big story this morning, Dad.
Yeah.
We've got more layoffs over at Stellantis. This is what, the third, fourth,
fifth. I don't know. It won't be the last.
We've got more layoffs at Stellantis. This is what's interesting, folks. Stellantis is the parent company of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. We have seen both a mix of executives over at Stellantis leave, and now, and I shouldn't say now, and we've also seen myriad workforce cuts as well. Stellantis lays off 1,600 for temporary shift cut at Warren Truck Plant. Stellantis also said its Toledo South plant, which builds the Gladiator, will be down beginning July 8th to align production with sales, retool the plant for a new model, and observe summer vacation. Production resumes August 19th. On top of all this, I'm going to go to my handy dandy cell phone here, and I'm going to read you a text message I received this morning from a Stellantis dealer. You ready for this?
Yes.
Zach, remember when I was on your podcast and said we needed 0% for 84 months and everyone thought I was crazy? Well, we have that now on the Hornet. We also have, Dad, here, we get a $3,000 kickback per car from Stellantis if we hit our goal.
Whoa. Yeah, it's kind of funny that they say, well, they want to align production with sales. Normally, yeah, that's how you want to operate. You don't want to keep producing stuff nobody wants to buy. But as a company, that's exactly what Stellantis has been doing for the last year and a half. And on top of that, they keep bringing in vehicles that nobody asked for and nobody wants. The Hornet, with 0% APR interest available to those with top tier credit, they wouldn't be the people buying that damn car. But for those folks, you could get 0% interest. You have heard me say this so many times. The reason there's 0% interest available in the Hornet is because there is zero interest in the Hornet. And it just seems to me that it's going to continue that way. It is past time for the higher ups at Stellantis to finally have decided to align production with, well, what sales rates have been. That to me is like a no-brainer. I mean, why didn't you do that 18 months ago?
Well, now we're seeing even more of the impacts of those decisions to essentially stockpile their dealers with way too much inventory and see what happens. Well, you know what happens? You end up having to spend a bunch of money to incentivize customers to take an interest in your cars. You have to spend a bunch of money to get your dealers to discount the vehicles to a price point where customers might be interested in them. And you have to lay off workers, both corporate executives and staff at the line level that are making the things. Like that's what we're seeing here, Dad. And the writing is on the wall. It doesn't get any better. You can actually look at, and I'll pull it up on the screen here so that we can all look at it together. We have more Q2 and June sales data from the auto industry, and it's not good. Like there are certain brands here that have really, really struggled. Let me get to the table here, and we'll jump immediately actually to our friends over at Stellantis, and you can see them right here. Stellantis sales for the quarter, folks. For the quarter, down 21%, Dad.
Look how much Ram truck is off.
For those of you that listen to the podcast, it's 26%. There's a 26% decline in Ram truck sales, a 19% decline in Jeep sales, a 17% decline in Dodge sales, and a 19% decline in Chrysler sales.
It's crazy. I mean, and it's not as if we haven't seen these numbers coming. We have been looking at these numbers for months and months and months and asking the same question every time. What are the executives at Stellantis A thinking, number one, and then B, what the hell are they doing about it? And I feel bad for the workers that are being laid off.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing worse in life than wanting to do a job and being told that because we miscalculated, your job is temporarily lost for the next 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it is. There's no worse feeling in life than when that happens. And yet Carlos Taveros, the head of Stellantis, who got paid $39 million last year.
It's a lot of millions.
Okay, that is a lot of millions. And he gets to keep his job and make that kind of money after having overseen an executive team, at least for North America, make all the wrong bets, okay? Every bet they placed, they lost on, okay? Unless you want to say, well, Fiat sales were up like 3,000%. Yeah, they sold 360-something Fiats in the quarter. So that doesn't count. So how do you reward top executives who are so out of touch, and it ends up costing those who build the product, at least temporarily, their jobs? And those who actually build the product, they need that income. Carlos doesn't. I think he could be living large for quite some time. Probably is, just guessing.
I think you're onto something, Pops. I think he absolutely is. It's a bunch of terrible decisions that were made. Let's look at some of the other performances from Q2, and then we just had a really thoughtful contribution come through from Donald. We're going to recognize that. So all right. So obviously Stellantis down 21% quarter over quarter. Tesla down 14% quarter over quarter. Toyota up 9% quarter over quarter. Within VW here, you're generally up, but Audi down 12% quarter over quarter. Let's go back up, Dad. Let's look at some of the other numbers here. Let's start at the top. Let's see who performed well, who performed poorly. Mini sales fallen off a cliff, down 22% year over year for Q2. We've got Ford sales are practically flat. You've got GM sales are flat, exactly flat, 0% change year over year for their second quarter performance. Honda sales are up. Acura sales are down 16%. Hyundai, Kia, we talked about that the other day. They're flat. Mazda sales up for the quarter. Nissan sales down.
Wait. Stop. Scroll back up just a tad. Stop at Lucid Motors. Their sales are down 17%, which means their CEO, Mr. Rollinson, will probably see a huge increase in his compensation package, as he was the most highly compensated CEO of any automotive company last year. I don't know, what was it, in the 300 million plus range for helping to operate a failing company. What the hell is wrong with us? I don't care how much money the Saudi government has. I mean, I can't help it. They're the ones backing Lucid. I mean, what the hell is wrong with people that you can lose as much money as that company does, and yet you can compensate that CEO better than any other CEO in the automotive industry? It's just obscene, at least in my mind.
Bigger, broader perspective here, folks. Q2 sales numbers not particularly good, especially bad for certain brands. Let's switch gears. From Donald, thank you, Donald, for the kind contribution. Thanks, guys. Deal School plus templates plus the CarEdge fair price equals $2,000 under MSRP on a Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy at MSRP only dealer. Not $4,000, but good for me. Congratulations, Donald, and thank you for sharing your experience here with us. The car buying toolkit back at CarEdge.com. Use it. It's incredible to see results like this. That's a job well done. Makes you wonder, Dad.
Yeah.
Hyundai Kia sales flat year over year for Q2 creates opportunities like this for people like Donald. Even on the new vehicles that are redesigned, etc., high trim levels, there's still deals to be had because sales haven't been great for a lot of the automakers. Obviously, Honda and Toyota are the exception to that, but all the others, Mazda might be a bit of an exception, but they have so much inventory.
Subaru
All the
is an
others,
exception.
Yep.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. The whole thing is just confounding to me. We've seen so many of the manufacturers raise their prices as much as they have, and continue to keep their prices high. Now suddenly we're seeing some of the manufacturers willing to jump through hoops to try and lower the transaction prices of the vehicles by either offering some type of incentives. Oh my God, what happened to my color? All of a sudden, it got light in here. I'm just a little washed out, but now I'm coming back, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what the hell's going on. I can't wait for that new computer to arrive. Where was I? Oh, I was at incentives, and that text from that dealer where I don't know if the $3,000 per vehicle is just on Hornets if you hit your sales goal, or if that's for other vehicles. But
for every Stellantis product, Pops.
Okay, which means this is what it means for the customer. The dealer knows that even if they were to sell the vehicle at invoice, they are still making over $3,000. What do I mean by that? Well, at invoice, they're still getting holdback, which is what, 1.5 to 2.5% of the base MSRP on the vehicle. So they're still collecting that from Stellantis. Let's face it, they have blown through their floor plan assistance money, and perhaps they've blown through their advertising assistance money. But they know they're still going to pick up the whole back plus $3,000. So that means that you can get a dealer to go well below invoice in order for them to sell their products, in order for them to hit their sales objective. Even if a dealer gave up $1,500 of that $3,000, they're still making well over $2,000 between the holdback and the other $1,500 of that $3,000. So there should be great deals to be had at Stellantis dealers. Now, having said that, here's the only issue with that. You're still getting a Stellantis product. And a lot of people don't appreciate a Stellantis product. There's a reason certain things don't sell. That's because, well, they're not the things that people want.
But you've always said at the right price, and eventually
buy anything. Yeah, at the right price, people will buy anything.
And if I'm not mistaken, you're the person who made a YouTube video 4 years ago. What happens to unsold new cars? There are no such thing as unsold new cars. New cars sell eventually, whether they have to get taken to auction or they go to a retail customer. And I think what you're seeing, when Stellantis sales are down 21% year over year for that second quarter, they're going to be even more aggressive to get that metal moved. Again, today, the big breaking news was more layoffs at the production level. And we've obviously seen a ton of turnover at the executive level. Looking like July is going to be truck month over at Ram. Looking like July is going to be Hornet month over at Dodge. Looking like July is going to be Jeep patriotism month over at Jeep. Okay, there are deals to be had. We see it in our car buying service all the time. But there's a lot of opportunity there because performance has been so poor.
Yes. And what made it even worse is it took Stellantis until July to really step up and try and do anything to help their dealers move the ever-growing inventory that they've had.
Let's jump back to the chat, Pops. We've got more stories to cover in just a moment. If you enjoy our show, please consider hitting that little thumbs up button on the video. We really appreciate it. Dad, from Frank Bouchard. Frank's one of our team members here at CarEdge. Frank,
He
thank
is
you for
indeed.
everything
Thank
that
you,
you
Frank.
do, and thank you for the kind contribution. Hey, everyone. I just visited my old CDJR dealership yesterday, and half the staff is gone due to lack of sales, moving on to different brands. Madness. But at least the service department was full. When people ask us, okay, you guys talk about CDJR being in trouble all the time, Stellantis being in trouble all the time. How do they make money? How do they still do it? The service department makes them a boatload of money, makes them a ton of money. And so that's the magic answer there. We've got Dad here from John McGuire. Thank you, John. I appreciate the rant on CEO pay. However, I'm guessing most people, when offered a bonus or a high salary, refuse and demand the money be given to other staff in the company. What is the saying? It's like, do as I say, not as I do, or something like that. I feel like very few executives actually lead by example.
Well, I can assure you that very few executives lead by example. And I always love when they refer to their employees as human capital. Yeah, they're just capital. There ain't nothing human about it. If it's time to cut back, they cut back. And it's not really a rant on CEO pay. It's a rant on CEOs being paid as much as they are and underperforming at the job in which they are supposed to be doing. You can't destroy. Well, let me rephrase this. Apparently, you can destroy the North American market for Stellantis products and still reap a huge reward from the company that you oversee. That's Carlos Tavares. It's just that simple. My point is that when someone's doing that, maybe they don't deserve that type of reward. I'm not saying he shouldn't be paid. I'm not saying he shouldn't be paid handsomely. I maybe am just suggesting that he shouldn't be paid as much as he's being paid while he is destroying the North American operations of what was at one time a somewhat esteemed American brand when it was Chrysler.
Yep. It'll be very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of months as inventory continues to stay high. Dealers are getting huge kickbacks to move inventory, and incentives on the consumer side become even stronger. From Cameron, thank you, Cameron. Appreciate the kind contribution. I've recently bought a new 2023 Ram 2500 diesel with $14,000 off of MSRP. Job well done. I do think Stellantis, Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep are going to really see an increase in sales as the price points go lower. People don't bat an eyelash when it's $5,000 off on an $80,000 pickup truck. They might not even move the needle when it's a $10,000 discount. But when you're getting $14,000 off, that's like even if the MSRP is inflated to begin with, don't get me wrong. We're the folks, car price inflation, Google search it, gang. We're the folks that did that research. But still, 14 grand off, that's meaningful.
Even if it's still not a good deal at 14 grand off, the perception is it is. Okay. And that's what discounting is. Discounting is altering perception. It is taking that $80,000 vehicle and realizing at $75,000, the perception is it's still overpaid and it's still overpriced and you're overpaying. The perception becomes that if it was an $80,000 vehicle and you can get $14,000 off, well, that's a good deal. It might not necessarily be a good deal, but the perception that you've created makes it a good deal.
100%.
So, yeah, it's all perception. And listen, we need to see, if you're a Stellantis dealer, your customers need to see more of that. It's just that that's the unadulterated truth in how it's going to be to move the Stellantis metal these days.
You're saying perception is reality. I'll remind everyone that we have a 100% satisfaction guarantee on our car buying service. If you're in the market and you don't feel like doing it yourself, we do have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied with the deal, the experience, the whole 9 yards, you'll get your money back. So please, folks, if you don't want to deal with the dealers, let our team of professionals do it for you. Dad, let's switch gears. I want to talk a little bit about General Motors. This is a trend that we have seen pop up in the automotive industry for a long time, and most recently with Toyota, which was a little bit shocking. GM to pay $145.8 million penalty after U.S. finds excess emissions in 5.9 million vehicles, report says. NHTSA plans to announce that GM will pay the penalty for fuel economy compliance issues and cancel more than 30.6 million CAFE credits for the 2008 to 2010 model years. The reason I brought up Toyota in this is because Toyota recently got caught up in a similar emissions scandal in Japan. And here you go, Dad, nearly $150 million penalty for GM for vehicles they produced from 2008 to 2010. Dieselgate 2.0, Dieselgate 3.0, emissions scandal 4.0, whatever you want to call it. This is a big deal.
It doesn't seem to ever change. And it would seem to indicate to me that, like that old adage goes in professional sports, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And so I think we find this in all of the brands. It's a hell of a lot cheaper to cheat than it is to invest the money it takes to actually come up with either the hardware or the software that would allow where am I going? That would allow them to reach their CAFE standards. So it's just cheap. It's unfortunate, but it's cheaper to cheat than it is. What the hell is going on here? Look, I'm back.
I can explain it to you.
Ever.
I'll explain it to you. When you have your blinds open behind you, the camera sometimes will lose focus of your face. Do you see how when you look in your camera, it's got a little box around your face? Do you see that?
There is no lock around my face today.
That's the issue, man.
Something to the camera.
That's the issue. We'll work on that. But anyway, it's kind of funny, so we enjoy it. Dad, I want to turn our attention back here from Baron of Gray Matter. Ray, you are wrong. CEO and board work for the shareholders, not the public. CEOs are paid for their profit, making workers or cost. Bottom line is king. I think that's what you were saying. This is also ties in directly with your commentary right there about if you're not cheating, you're not trying. That's exactly why GM's done what they did. Make some more money.
Yes, it's when they look at it, okay. So what GM did was 2008, 2009, 2010. Okay. 14 years, 16 years later, whatever it is, they're paying $148.5 million a fine. Well, they're thinking, maybe they made $1 billion, and it cost them $150 million. Yeah. If you look at it like that, it was cost effective, and it was like an interest-free loan on that $150 million. I get all that, and yes, I get that corporations are responsible to their shareholders. And I get all that. But how much more profitable could Stellantis be if they hadn't screwed up the North American market? Yeah. Just asking for a friend.
Probably a little bit stronger in North America. Probably. Just a little bit.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
Before we switch gears to our favorite segment of the show, a couple more comments from the chat. We've got from 617 Grower, best father and son duo after Bronny and LeBron. I think that's fair. Thank you.
Well, we really haven't seen LeBron and Bronny play together yet. We know how you and I play together.
We've been playing. My dad and I've been playing with each other for 4 years.
Whoa. Yes. Now I'm in big trouble, and the next thing you know, I'm going to be doing these from behind bars. I mean, come on, man.
That was bad. That was not a good one. I apologize. That was bad. All right, Dad, hit us with an ad lib, please.
Oh, really? You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that last segment could have been really, you gotta be kidding me. All right, Dad, these are real text messages between a CDJR dealer and a customer. All right. Hello, Chris. My name is Ryan, sales manager here at Naples Jeep Dodge Ram. We are taking $13,500 off the price of the vehicle. It is likely the least greedy and biggest savings we have seen in the last couple of years and will probably be the best in the next couple of years to come. It is an absolute fact that I will be loosen that money to move this vehicle. The deal we have here is a negative profit deal already, but I am here to help and more than willing to loose some more. I am sure you have doubts, but if you would like to stop by and see me, I'd be happy to show you just how good of a deal you would be getting. And just to add, with discounts this large, your equity position will be insanely good. Let me know if you have some time to swing by this week or this weekend. I promise, at the very least, you will not leave offended. Car buying in the 21st century, baby. Holy cow.
Don't they? Isn't autocorrect available for for text? I mean, and that proves that a lot of people in the automotive industry, sales managers that are in charge of helping to make dealerships profitable or not, that just proves that you don't have to be well educated or know how to spell in order to do that.
I think there's a couple angles to it, right? There's the spelling error, which, you know what? I'll let that one slide. I get typos.
How many
in my
times?
Whatever. Typos happen. The fact that you're telling the customer all those things just to try and get them to come into the dealership. And I didn't even give you the kicker here, Dad. The out the door price that this dealer sent the customer had the discount, the $13,500 discount. It also had the Naples Advantage plan and a $1,200 doc fee and a random like $2,300 in taxable fees.
Wow.
Okay. So it wasn't actually $13,500 off. And then the dealership ploy is, well, come in. Set aside the grammar and the text for a second.
Yes.
It's just a terrible way to buy a car, man. It's really stupid.
Well, it is. Well, and I'm assuming with the Naples Advantage, we're talking about a Jeep dealer in Naples, Florida. Would be my guess, especially with a $1,200 doc fee.
Yep. We're in Florida.
Okay,
this is buying a car in Florida. I mean, this is buying a car in a lot of states, but this is especially in Florida.
This is buying a car. Let me help you. I can't narrow it down. I'm going to broaden it out for you. This is buying a car in America. Okay? This is how lame the automobile industry is. And what I mean by that is there are too many people that are dealer principals, that are owners, that are convinced that this is the best and only method as to how you should sell a car. And it is simply wrong. It doesn't have to be like this. It shouldn't be like this. And it's always going to be like this as long as we have owners of dealerships who think it's okay. Now, I can assure you when they wouldn't think it's okay. And that is if they were trying to buy something, maybe a boat, maybe their yacht from their $1,200 dock fee, and the boat salesperson tried to pull the same crap on them. They'd be screaming louder than anybody. So this is what's wrong with buying cars in the good old United States of America.
Keeping us in business, though. We're awfully busy. That is for sure. Dad, let's come here from RK or Arnie. Thank you, Arnie. Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah. Last week, I bought a 2024 Hyundai Genesis GV80 3.5 Prestige, almost an $80,000 MSRP in New Jersey for $77,500 out the door, 2.9% financing for 48 months. This week, I would have been able to get it for $76,500. Prices are dropping. A good deal is a state of mind. Congratulations, Arnie. Way to take advantage of those subvented interest rates, and so grateful that we were able to help.
I am, and I want to compliment Arnie on how he decided to spell his name, Arnie. You know, my first wife, God bless her, her name was Toby, and we had we had bought a Datsun 280Z 2+2, and Toby wanted a special license plate for it. She wanted it to say Toby's Z. And I told her Toby's going to be taken. So the way you need to do it is do it TOEBZ. Toby's Z. She wouldn't do it that way. So I appreciate Arnie coming up with a very creative way to spell Arnie.
We've got here, Dad, from Squeegee Kid, and then we got one more before the end of today's show. Happy 4th, and Ray and Zach, right back at you, Squeegee Kid. Any guess as to when the Grand Highlander stop sale will end? And once it ends, will the pricing be lower or the same? Pricing will be the same, I imagine. I actually think there are some unaffected VINs out there. I learned that about the other Toyota recalls as well. So there are some unaffected VINs, and there are affected VINs. So it's a bit of a mess right now. But I don't have a firm answer on when it's going to be lifted broadly. I would expect pricing stays the same. It's a really hot vehicle.
It won't be lifted until Toyota has the fix for the driver's side head airbag issue. And once they have that fix, then they will send all the parts and everything to their dealers so that they can then make the cars available for sale. And I believe there's even a stop production on the vehicles. So trust me, nobody would like to figure it out quicker than Toyota would.
I know at the Tundra, there are some VINs that are unaffected. I imagine the same thing maybe on the Grand Highlander. I could be wrong about that. Do your research, folks. I'm not a Grand Highlander recall expert at the very moment, but Squeegee Kid, appreciate the contribution. And we'll end the show here from Dreadnought. And please don't go too far down the politics path. This channel is a space where we don't have to worry about that, folks. It's car stuff and it's dad jokes. Will Ray seriously consider running for president?
One word answer: no. I'll leave it there, folks. I'll just leave it there.
If you've enjoyed today's show, please. Oh man, I can't even talk. Please hit that little thumbs up button. It really helps us out here on the YouTube channel. And again, our company, CarEdge.com, if we can help you out with anything. We have the car search, the car buying service, the car buying toolkit, sell a car online, get multiple offers all in one place, and the warranty and protection. We've got $150 off through the holiday. Take advantage of that. Ed says, what's with the handsome stuff every day? So weird. Stop him, Zach. No. I love when my dad tells me that I'm handsome. As a friendly reminder to go out in the world and know that I look good. So thank you, Dad. You are handsome too.
Well, now I would suggest you need glasses. There was a comment that I noticed earlier today where someone said, was your father at the Costco in Wheatley on Sunday? And my response was, no, I was not, and I feel bad for the guy that you think looked like me.
That is a 10 out of 10 response. That is a 10 out of 10 response. All right, folks, we're back tomorrow, 9 a.m. on the West Coast, 12 p.m. here on the East Coast. Dad, I love you. Hopefully I'll get the green screen working tomorrow, but I'm not too pressed about it. I'm glad your bike worked today. That was a big one.
Yes. I hate to say this, I switched dongles again. And sometimes when I switch, they work for like a day or two and then they don't. So I'll switch back to the other one when that happens. But hopefully you can help me figure out my camera so that I don't wash in and out.
You got to close your blinds behind you. That's what it is. Or I can show you the auto tracking so it tracks your face. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We'll work on the technical details offline.